Yo, what's good, is the boy do the views, and heavy spoilers for Attack on Titan the final chapters, as well as flashing images. You have been warned. At long last, we finally made it to the final chapter of the final chapters of the final season. But are these final changes worth the $155? Without further ado, let's check them out. The ripples on the water have been reduced in the Blu-ray.
始祖ユミルの話を始祖ユミルの話を
Both Armin and Eren have been redesigned in this shot.
どこに
The Blu-ray added a shadow overlay on Eren's neck, but because of that, his jaw overlaps over the shadow, which ends up looking like an error on the Blu-ray.
俺たちが行きたかったところだ。歩きながら話そう。
The Northern Lights have been redesigned and reanimated. While I do like this new design, there's something about the original TV version that felt otherworldly, it felt really eerie, and I kinda liked it. The stars have also been reduced in the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray has gone ahead and removed one of the ripples, but what about the 10 years at least iconic shot of Eren? Well...
そんなのやだ。ミカサに男ができるなんて一生俺だけを思っててほしい。そんなのやだ。ミカサに男ができるなんて一生俺だけを思っててほしい。
No changes. Eren's face has been redesigned in this frame. Mainly the shadows under his eyes have been reduced. The Blu-ray darkened Eren's jacket. In two of these shots, the red bits of flesh in Eren's hands have added saturation on. Armin's hand is no longer a faded shade of red. Notice how on the lower half of the screen in the TV version you see a subtle red glow coming from the ocean blood, but in the Blu-ray they removed it. The Blu-ray removed the shaky cam in this shot. And in this scene, the red glow right at the bottom of the screen in the TV has been removed in the Blu-ray. Armin's sleeve is now covered in blood in the Blu-ray version, and in this shot, they darkened the color of the blood on Armin's sleeve, as well as adding subtle streaks of blood trickling down his hand. The blood stain is darkened on Armin's sleeve as he gives the shell to Eren, and two more shots of Armin's blood stain showing a darker shade of red. They added highlights to Eren's eyes. The Blu-ray added the blood stain on Armin's sleeve, as well as removing the red glow. Falco's jaw titan has slightly been redesigned and shrunk down, as well as reducing a lot of the steam. The Blu-ray removed some of the titan carcass behind Armin. Armin's eyes of him hugging Eren's head are slightly redrawn and have added highlights to his pupils. Gabby, Connie, Reiner, and Jean-Boy have all been redesigned in the Blu-ray, and they have better, clearer expressions. They all look much startled in the Blu-ray now.
真の力をこの世から消す
Commander Irvin, Hanji, Mickey, and Squad Levi, and Nanaba, as well as the other fallen scouts, have all been redesigned slightly, as well as slightly reducing the steam. Although this sequence of them giving the Shinzo Sasageo, the Blu-ray added an extra layer of Titan steam. The Blu-ray removed this awesome sequence of Irvin and Hanji morphing into Titan steam. The steam just overlaps them, as well as the flag. John and Connie have both been redesigned in this shot, and you can see that the Titan steam blowing away Sasha is slightly retimed in the Blu-ray. Karina's outfit has a color change. Armin's face has been redrawn completely in this shot, as well as Mikasa in both this close-up shot and this wide shot. This high angle shot has reduced steam. The Blu-ray reduced some of the steam covering Ymir's face, but animated more steam blowing her away, as well as the animation being retimed of her fading away. More Titan steam has been added in this shot of Mikasa walking away from the Alliance and the Malians. Historia Rice Jr. now has a better looking cake. The table now has more detail and slight color corrections to the jar. The Aegis flag in the Blu-ray now has a lens flare added on, as well as the color of the flag being dimmed out. Riko's hair color is now consistent and her face looks confident. The Blu-ray reduced some of the highlights on the surface of the water, as well as animating waves underneath the ship. The Blu-ray also lightened up the smoke coming from the ship. And this entire interior scene of the Alliance not only has some of the table props redesigned, but the Blu-ray increased the saturation. It's the first time in a long time that Attack on Titan looks this colorful, symbolizing the newfound light and hope the Scouts/Alliance now have for the entire world. The Blu-ray reanimated Annie's mouth, and the entire boat shake has been removed in the Blu-ray. Personally, I think the Blu-ray is a huge improvement from the TV version. The little girl running from Levi has been reanimated. Levi no longer has the bandages on his face. The Alliance have been shrunk down on the boat. The ocean has been redrawn/reanimated. You now see both Peak and Annie are wearing heels in this scene. Paradise Island in the distance has some of the grassy detail removed, as well as it being slightly blurred out. The Blu-ray reanimated this scene of Armin grabbing the feather from the bird. A huge improvement. And the transition to white is introduced early in the Blu-ray. Mikasa now has feet in the Blu-ray. What a huge win for us AOT fans. The post-credit scenes has a lot of different changes, from different characters being redesigned and redrawn, Mikasa visiting the grave on a snowy winter day, as well as more people, whether they are family, friends, or just random civilians, all walking past the grave of Eren Yeager. The background has better lighting and detail, but I feel like the biggest change from this final chapter comes from the time lapse of the city being built up. I mean, my gosh, just looking at this entire sequence, what can I say, dude? A huge improvement. I love how the buildings get bigger and bigger and bigger. If you play this in slow motion, you can see what appears to be flying cars or vehicles or machines zooming through the sky. We well and truly are 20,000 years into the future. And then seeing the fall of Paradise Island looks absolutely horrific. The lighting, the shadows, and then the final attack on this island. Wow, just absolutely wow. Everything about this entire final end credit scene is absolutely amazing. Haunting, very eerie, yet amazing. And finally, the boy and his dog have been slightly recolored, and that's it. Those are all the changes of the final chapter of Attack on Titan. Everything else has no changes whatsoever, but honestly, mate, both this chapter and the previous chapter well and truly had the most changes I've ever seen in any Attack on Titan final season episode. From the lightings to the character redesigns, my gosh, all a huge increase. I just want to thank Yuichiro Hayashi and his team of animators at MAPPA for creating such a well-made ending to a beloved anime series. Thank you. As well as a huge thank you to Hajime Isayama for writing the story. But that's it. Tell me in the comments down below, what did you guys think of these changes? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Like this video, subscribe for more TV vs Blu-ray comparisons. Stay tuned for future JJK TV vs Blu-ray comparisons, as well as other anime updates and all that jazz. But thank you for watching, and as always, a boy do the view signing out.